I need to hit Senegal.
Ooh, that
Yeah.
is
I hear that
lovely.
the men are also quite
Yes.
pretty. Am I lying?
You're not. The media portrayed a certain narrative of Africa, and a very
100%.
negative one.
Yeah.
And so that narrative was always about war or famine or poverty.
Yeah.
And so that's what, the majority of Americans knew or thought of Africa to be in the 80s.
Yeah.
So she said, just coming to Ghana, looking at the currency for for kids who are raised on the continent and looking at your bills and they
Yes.
see black men or black women.
Must be mind-blowing, huh?
Exactly. When the billboards are filled with black people and dark-skinned black people,
Yep.
right? With the shapes and,
Yes. Yes.
that are
Like,
only
this
our
is
shapes.
us.
This is us.
Hi, you are all welcome to Voices of a Continent. I'm super excited today because my guest lives in the US, and although she comes back often, trying to pin her down because she is so busy is something else. And so I'm honored. I'm honored to welcome Akosua Awusi to the show. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Yourself?
Good. You look great. It's been a while since I've seen. I've been saying it. You look amazing. You look amazing. You look amazing. But you do. You're looking so well.
Thank you. It's the African sun.
I've
You
just
get it all the time.
we do, but the weather hasn't been great of late. It's been a bit cloudy,
yeah,
which
it
has
has
been a
been.
bit odd, right?
It has been. It
Yeah.
has been.
So but anyway, our melanin will shine through.
There you go.
So we're good. So you're so welcome. So
Thank you very much.
can we jump straight into
I'd love
the
to.
podcast? Amazing. Okay, great. So I'm going in. When you think of the word home, what images or emotions come to mind? As in home, as in Ghana, home.
Images that come to mind. Aunties laughing, little kids running around, the red clay soil that we have
Yes,
here in the
very
South.
unique, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
And even the smell of it as well, right?
Even the smell of it. The sun.
100%.
The sun.
The sun. Especially where you're based.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And just family, people gathering together. I have the type of family we laugh a lot, we joke, whether it's about politics or whatever, it's like that roughhousing type of family.
Okay.
And so just being together like I was yesterday with them.
Aw.
Every Sundays we visit them. And so I think family. So when I think of Ghana and the images, it's family, it's safety, it's home, it's the sun, it's the red clay soil. It's just.
I think those are really unique. Well, actually not unique, but the things that you're sharing with us are things that I think a lot of people kind of hold on to dearly, especially if they're in the diaspora and they're thinking of, oh gosh, even when you hear like the Fanais horn, it's just like, oh my gosh, I remember, when maybe the bread that you get in the morning, freshly baked and things like that. So I can imagine that a lot of people listening to you, they'll be like, yes, I remember. You're so right. So thank you for sharing. And I know that you're based in the US.
Yes.
But I know that you come back home quite often. How has living across, the US and Ghana shaped your identity? Not just professionally, because we'll go into that a bit later, but spiritually and personally, how has your identity been shaped with you living in these two spaces?
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Maryland, which is right outside of DC. And for anyone who knows, it's a very big Ghanaian community in Maryland. So I grew up, even though, the schools I went to were diverse, when we're home, my mom and dad are speaking Tree. If it's just my mom and her sisters, they're speaking Ga. If my grandma's in town, it's Krobo. With the Ghanaian parties on the weekends, whether it's a wedding or funeral
Yeah.
or a birthday, like I grew up
Mm.
in a very much Ghanaian
So you're
environment.
really immersed in it constantly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when summers would come when we were young, my brother and I, my parents would bring us to Ghana every several years.
Mhm.
And so I would say that, um, I had the Ghanaian experience in the US, and then I also had the blessing to be able to come to Ghana when I was at such a young and, formative age.
Mhm.
Um, every so often with my brother. And so I think I always grew up um, calling myself a Ghanaian-American.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
and back in the day, Africa didn't have the connotation that it has now,
Very much
right?
so. I can
So
identify. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But I would say just being in a Ghanaian neighborhood, or not neighborhood, excuse me, environment,
Mhm.
when on the weekends, having friends and cousins all around me, Ghana was very much a part of my identity growing up. Um, and then when I started coming here as a young adult,
Mhm.
then it became a little bit more, I guess, more solidified,
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. You're
Um,
kind of marrying what you were
exactly.
brought up with to
Correct.
actually being on the ground.
Correct.
And
As an adult, not just like my mom bringing me
yes,
and you're
yes,
just like at auntie's or grandma's house.
independently. It's
Exactly.
very different when the aunties and uncles
E-
are left behind,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. And you're
Yeah.
able to go out to town and like
Yes.
see things and
Yes.
hang out. And it's like, oh, this is
I'm
pretty dope.
intrigued because you touched on the connotations that have changed regarding the African label in the
Mm-hmm.
US.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just because I know what you're going to say because I went through it when I was born and raised in the UK. But can you share what it was like for Africans or how Africans were perceived
Yeah.
back then,
Yeah.
or how even Africans treated ourselves, each
Yeah.
other then compared to now?
Yeah. Yeah. So I would say growing up back in the 80s,
Mhm.
you know, social media is a great thing in many respects because
Mm.
it's helped kind of um, open the door of what Africa really is. It's
Yeah.
pros, it's cons, it's pluses, it's minuses. But we didn't have that in the 80s.
Yeah.
And so in the 80s, year in media, the media portrayed a certain narrative of Africa and a very
100%.
negative one.
Yeah.
And so that narrative was always about war or famine or poverty.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's what the majority of Americans
Mm.
knew or thought of Africa to be in the 80s. So
Yeah.
it was always interesting when I would come and visit. I'm like, that's
It
not.
doesn't tally.
It doesn't. You do see the spectrum.
Sure.
Yes,
Of course, it's
everywhere.
there.
It's there, just like it
Mhm.
is in Brooklyn, just like
Mm.
it is in Maryland.
Yep.
And it's like that everywhere. But the narrative that was portrayed back in the 80s, maybe early 90s, it never told the full story.
Right.
And so,
Right.
yeah.
And again, I guess also it helped the other agenda,
Correct.
in order for Africans to sit in a particular space,
Correct. Correct.
but now it's I was going to say it is very different now because as you said with regards to social media and people are more exposed
Yeah.
and people are willing to come to the continent and seeing it for themselves and they're like,
Exactly.
this isn't
This
what I expected,
right.
So, and I'm sure you'll have so many stories when
Yes.
we
Yes.
delve into that.
Totally.
So I'm rushing ahead. I'm excited. Okay, I'll just I'll just relax. So do you see yourself being a part of both worlds? So even though you said that you were immersed in the Ghanaian culture at home, do you see yourself as both Ghanaian as well as American, or neither? Or how do you where do you sit currently?
Yeah, I think about this question a lot.
Mm.
And it's funny, I was thinking about it like this past week.
Mm.
I think I kind of sit in both worlds and then almost sometimes in none or neither. But yeah, I mean, I'm American. I was born and raised there. I understand kind of like just what it means to be an American, but then also the Ghanaian aspect as well. So it is a little different because I wasn't raised in Ghana, so I would come for maybe every other summer.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
the tickets aren't cheap.
right,
So, do
exactly.
you know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
You
exactly.
know?
Right. And so, but there's something that I always used to feel that I missed not growing up in Ghana. Right. And I look at my cousins
Completely
who
agree.
grew up in Ghana
Completely
versus,
agree.
yeah. And so I did miss something. So I always call myself, you know, what, like a fake Ghanaian, right?
Yes, yes,
Because,
yes.
I get a lot of it, but there are some things like, especially, high schools are big here. Yeah. I don't, I can't say, I can talk about where I went to university, but I can't talk
Yeah, but
about,
high schools, I think, are a bigger deal here.
oh, totally.
It's
100%.
like
100%.
the holy grail. Yes.
Exactly.
So forget primary school,
Right.
forget university.
Yep. It's
It's
where
that
you went
boarding
to.
experience. Yeah.
Exactly.
And so I'm often just sitting there
Yeah.
like, yeah, completely, completely. I get you, 100%. Do you feel any tension do you feel like you have to choose sometimes?
um, I mean, I would say in America, no, because America is kind of like a melting pot. There are
True.
just so many, especially I've lived in the East Coast my whole life.
Right.
So whether it's, the DC area, the New York area, I went to school in Philly. Everyone is just so blended or mixed.
Right.
So I never felt like I had to choose in the US. And in Ghana, I mean, because automatically, as soon as I open my mouth,
Mm.
right, I'm already labeled.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Whether it's by the policeman that I just got pulled over last week. There's already a label to me because
Mm-hmm.
of the accent.
But I don't even think it's just the accent, it's how you look. Sometimes they can sniff you out just by how you're traversing and you're walking the streets. Honestly. Yeah, facts. Facts. Yeah.
But yeah, I would say, but it's and but I don't ever take it. I don't ever take it to heart. It's
Personally.
yeah, it's who I am.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I am as I say, a Ghanaian-American. So I'll take it, the good for the bad, the bad
Yeah.
for the good.
Yeah. I mean,
And yeah, there's a lot of good.
I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that. So, just to talk a bit more about your professional outlook and what you do, uh, you're involved in curating journeys for members of the African American diaspora coming to Ghana. So, what essentially inspired that work?
So I moved to Ghana. I had the opportunity to move to Ghana back in 2010. And at that time, I just had my oldest. So my
Okay.
oldest and I moved to Ghana. I had gotten a contract. So before starting this world,
Mm-hmm.
I started my career professionally in finance, and I left that after
Mm-hmm.
several
Mm-hmm.
years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved into the economic development nonprofit NGO world.
Right.
So I had an opportunity to move to Ghana with my oldest,
And how
and
old is he now, please?
he is 16 now. Yes, he was
Wow.
1 when we moved here. He was 1 when we moved
Wow.
here.
Okay.
No, sorry, he wasn't 1. I'm thinking he was 2 when we
Okay.
moved here. And
Okay.
so what actually occurred when I moved to Ghana and I was living here and I was working and I was traveling all over was that a lot of my friends in the US would always ask to visit. And so of course I'm hosting them and we're showing them a good time. And of course they wanted to see certain sites, which is, of course, Cape Coast, Kwame Nkrumah, W.B.
Yes.
Du Bois.
Yes.
And so I noticed that as in, when you have visitors, you take them around.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started noticing that my friends would visit me and then they began referring their friends. And so I
Oh,
noticed that it became, I was
a bit of a thing
spending a little bit more time than
anticipated.
anticipated,
Yeah.
giving people areas to go or sometimes taking them.
Okay.
And so it dawned on me after several years, and then actually me moving back to the US,
Okay.
is that there was really a lot of the Black diaspora who were really interested in kind of exploring their roots and their heritage.
Mm-hmm.
But they needed almost like a guiding hand, because the reality is traveling to Ghana, visiting Ghana, and other parts of Africa, it's maybe not like visiting New York where you can kind of book your hotel and then you just hop on the
Yeah, because I mean,
subway.
there's more structure there, isn't there? So it's easy
Exactly.
for you
The
to
public
navigate.
exactly,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so I noticed that there seemed to be an opportunity around people wanting to visit. And then 2019, when the president announced the year of the return in Ghana,
Yes.
that was
Like the green light.
that was a game changer. Where
Wow.
there's just so much hype around it and interest and desire for the Black community to come home,
Mhm.
which was great. And it's an an amazing initiative, and
Yeah.
amazing,
Yeah,
yeah,
it really did open the door, wasn't it?
right,
Like,
yeah,
literally all eyes were on Ghana, and
totally,
anyone and everybody flew in, didn't they? We were
correct.
just like, "Oh my gosh, do you know that
Yeah,
Oprah Winfrey just flew in, and
yep,
do you know that Dave Chappelle just came?"
yeah.
And yeah, it was a
Totally,
lot. It was a lot.
totally. It was. And
Amazing.
so that really was kind of what birthed African conversations and connections.
So based on that, can you kindly share with us some of the emotions that you may have seen diasporians have when they come back home?
Yeah.
And are there any emotions that you've seen that's kind of like bubbling under the surface when they
Yeah.
get here?
So I think particularly when my clients visit Ghana
Hmm.
and they specifically request Ghana, I think Ghana for a lot of diasporans, um, they almost seek it out as a place to find an answer. It's almost like a missing puzzle piece.
Right,
Um, it is a place where they come, they have questions
right,
that they'd like answered. They have, it's almost like a roots heritage experience for them,
right.
like a reconnection um, for them. And I have a lot, my clients, they all range, but I would say the one thing that is kind of the undercurrent is almost like the why. Like,
Mm,
why
mm,
did
this
this
happened.
happen?
Yeah. Have you seen people getting angry
Yeah,
to whether it's our colonizers or slave masters, or is it more deep sorrow for what, as Africans, what we went through?
I think I've seen some angry. I see more hurt,
Mm.
deep, deep hurt. Even I feel like even sometimes I see hurt that they may not even realize until we are actually at some certain
I've
sites.
seen
Yeah.
that.
And it is, the
Yeah.
emotions are
Yeah.
like, I even speaking about it now, whenever I go to certain places, especially maybe Asin Manso, the Slave River,
Hmm.
there's not a time that I don't
You
get
don't feel.
goosebumps. You don't, you definitely, you feel it.
Yeah.
And it brings up a lot of emotions.
Mm.
Yeah, it brings up a lot of emotions.
Yeah. Now, I remember when I went to visit Elmina for the first time, I was surprised. I mean, that I wept throughout,
Yep.
like, you can hear the tour guide speaking, but like, I probably didn't hear a thing because I was just completely overwhelmed by
Yep.
by the emotions that I felt, and so, um, uh, being Ghanaian, and knowing what happened, I can only imagine the trauma that people are carrying until they get here, and I guess there's that type of release,
Release. Yeah.
I guess.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There definitely is a release, especially. Yeah, I mean, going to Elmina, going to Asin Manso, going to, Cape Coast,
Mm, mm,
even some of the places in Jamestown.
mm.
There is a release. Hopefully some of the questions are
Sure,
answered.
sure.
But there's not a time that I go, and I can't even count how many times, but I learn something new every single time. Um,
Mm.
it's amazing. It really is a pilgrimage. It should be a pilgrimage for every diasporan to visit the continent, especially, the areas or the sites where it has to do with the transatlantic. I have a really, really very good girlfriend speak to me about. She's been now to Ghana twice,
Okay.
her and her son. Um, and one thing that she mentioned, so she's Black American.
Mm-hmm.
Um, one thing that she mentioned was really interesting is, which kind of helped kind of make things a little bit clearer in my mind,
Please.
was that she said, Akosua, it's really one thing that I feel like Ghanaians or Africans on the continent that we underestimate is the power of seeing Blackness around you 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
She said, just coming to Ghana, looking at the currency for your, for kids who are raised on the continent and looking at your bills and they
Yes.
see black men or black women.
Must be mind blowing, huh?
Exactly. When the billboards are filled with black people and dark skinned black people,
Yep.
right? With the shapes and
Yes.
that
Yes.
that are
Like,
only
this
our
is
shapes.
us.
This is us,
Yeah.
our hair, our lips, our nose. And when she mentioned that, so I think there's from because I grew up in the States, but there is a confidence when you're raised on the continent that is instilled in you, not even verbally, but just
Yes, how
unconsciously,
you carry
how
yourself.
you carry
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
That if you are raised here,
Interesting.
when you go anywhere else, no one can take that from you. And so I think to me, when she said that, a lot of things clicked. And I'm like, oh my God, that's a really good point, which actually, I don't want to say selfishly, but which one of the main reasons why I always bring my kids to, at minimum, spend the summers here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I almost use it, I don't want to say like a vaccination, but a way for them to get blackness in them.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
In like however many days or weeks that they're here for.
Correct. Yes.
Just
I want you to see blackness
in its all
in
forms.
its entirety.
Yeah.
From the top to the low and
Yeah.
everything in between.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
oftentimes in the States, the media portrays, us as in black people in a certain light, and a certain socioeconomic level. And so it's really like I love when they're on the continent, when they're in Ghana, because they see their doctors are black, their nurses are black,
Sure.
the
Sure.
policeman is black,
Yeah. Everybody, your
everyone.
dentist,
Yeah,
your chiropractor.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, talking about your clients coming home, how do you design those experiences for them that it goes beyond sightseeing?
Yeah.
So clearly you're talking about, going to the slave castles and the emotions that it evokes, and you're very particular with regards to like the places that you go to. How do you kind of like curate that cultural healing that
Yeah.
you're providing?
Yeah. So we do several countries, not just Ghana. It's just that Ghana happens. Well, I'm from here, and it does happen to be our most popular destination on the continent. And so we usually work with a group leader, so someone who is kind of like that point person. So that person and I work together to create an itinerary, and they will let me know this is what we're looking to experience. So they might be foodies and they want to, kind of get the food scene in Accra, or they could be wanting to experience a little bit of the nightlife, or they really are into art and they want to, do some paint classes or meet with an
Nice.
artist.
So
They
it's
could be-
varied, huh?
Yeah, it's varied. Or business. A lot of you and your husband have been to a lunch, and they were all
Yes.
business people.
Yes.
And so everyone comes with kind of almost like this different or varied reasons of wanting to come to the continent. There's always the undercurrent of
Right.
the heritage,
Yes.
exploration,
Mhm.
roots, and culture. But then everything on top of that, almost like the icing on the cake, is like these different experiences that they
Nice.
want to. So I work with each, what we term group leader, to kind of create that itinerary that helps them make it like the tour of their tour of their dreams.
So out of interest, which other countries do you visit?
I would say our second most popular country after Ghana is Tanzania. Or
Really?
Tanzania. as
Yes, I
should-
know. I get
I know.
confused. Yeah, I'm like, at school I was taught Tanzania.
Yeah. So that would be our second
Oh,
most popular
really?
destination.
So what is it? The safari? Like, what is it that they're?
It's a mix of the safari and, of course, Zanzibar.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
And then I would say right after that would be Senegal, Gambia.
I need to hit Senegal.
Oof, that
Yeah,
is
I hear that
lovely.
the men are also quite
Yeah.
pretty. Am I lying?
You're not.
Anyway, we move swiftly on.
Very swiftly.
Yes, before I get into trouble. So my next question. So moving swiftly on, can you share with us an example or an incident where people or a person has come to Ghana and their views have been changed and they've been transformed? And it just must have, do you have an example of that?
I do. A very recent tour. There was a woman. She's married, and her husband came, but her husband had come to Ghana back in the 70s.
Oh, wow.
So he came for a one plus year kind of exchange program at Legon, and He is such a dynamic, very interesting
Wow.
gentleman. He's a musician. He hung out with Fela Kuti. He is amazing.
He must have seen some things,
He saw some things
Wow.
and he only hinted at it.
Wow.
But his wife is half Japanese and half black Black American. And so she told me, she said, I had no idea. She didn't even really want to come on the tour, but the husband, since the 70s, since they met, he's always spoke very highly of Ghana. He's always wanted to come back. And so his sister curated the tour. And so she really had no plans of coming, but the husband, was like, oh, let's go. So she came. She said, I had no, she didn't really want to come because she's like,
Yeah, what is it
not
going to do for
yeah,
me?
what's it going to do for me?
Yeah.
And so we were at dinner one night and she pulled me to the side and she said, oh my gosh, I didn't know that this is what I needed. She was like, she grew up, her mother was Japanese and her father was black, but she wasn't really raised around kind of like the black side.
Right.
And so she kind of grew up not really, she told me she grew up not really learning about black history, even Black American history.
Wow. It was just completely shut off.
Completely shut off. And so when she came to Ghana, she's very like a doctor.
Right.
Very educated, very well spoken. And so when she came to Ghana and she pulled me to the side at dinner, and she's like, I had no idea that this is, my husband speak highly about Ghana for all these years, and I'd be like, oh, okay. She's like, I didn't know that this is what I needed.
Wow.
She's like, I thought I would be treated differently because she's very fair.
Right.
And for some, she may not even present as black. But she said, everyone has been so friendly, even though, I'm not as, she's not as melanin
Wow.
And she said the history that she learned, she's like, from, they went to Kumasi and then they went to Cape Coast. She's like, oh my, I had no idea.
It was just overwhelming.
It was overwhelming for her. And I know she loves her husband, but I think she had a deeper appreciation for now, like all of these lived experiences. Because you could tell like that time of coming to Ghana in the 70s in his teenage years was transformative for him.
Yes.
And so I think she has now a deeper appreciation. And now she's talking about coming back, about them possibly getting a home and starting a business.
Really? Yeah. So she's going in.
She is like...
Wow.
I was like, oh my gosh. Because I was telling her, I was like, when you landed, I'm very introverted. And so I try and get a read of clients. Like we meet several times virtually before they come to the continent. And when I met them, when they landed, because actually her and her husband, they landed before the main group. So I personally went to the airport to pick them up.
Okay.
And I was trying to get a read on her and I couldn't. Her husband was like very engaging and telling stories. And I was just trying to,
she wasn't giving you anything.
She wasn't giving me anything. And I'm like, this is what it was.
Wow.
And
so she was very closed.
Very closed. Because she just didn't expect.
Got it.
She's like, I didn't expect to be miserable, but I didn't expect to really enjoy myself.
Yeah.
And so that when you ask that question, it really, well done, Ghana. And well done, people of Ghana.
Yes, exactly. Well, I mean, she clearly saw Ghana for what it is. Our nuances, our the everything, the rough with the smooth.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yes. Oh, that's lovely.
It is. It really is. It really is.
Oh, that's You always hear that people say, Ghanaians are friendly and, hospitable. But when you hear such stories like that clearly it was like a transformative experience.
Yeah.
That's
it really
nice.
is. And I would say, I think coming here so often and having lived here for several years, I take it for granted on how friendly, friendly Ghanaians are. We really are friendly people. We really, really are. Very welcoming, smile on the face for visitors.
The greeting.
It really...
Those little things really do carry...
The little things.
Yeah.
It really is.
Oh, that's very touching. Well, they should come back.
They're planning it.
Amazing. Oh, that's good. That's good. So what are some of the misconceptions that people have about Ghana, either prior to coming? And have you been able to change them or challenge them?
Yeah, it's so interesting. I think the misconceptions are slowly going away because of social media and YouTube and, Instagram.
Mhm.
I would probably say that what I see now is people feel like they are going to feel different, or I don't want, scared is not the word, but maybe nervous.
Okay.
And I tell them, they're like, oh, maybe they want to go to dinner, and how will they get to dinner? And they can't imagine catching an Uber. By day
Interesting.
3, we don't even hear. They're like, we're going
We're
out.
good.
Peace.
Yeah.
Literally, that's it.
Really?
I am
We're finding our own way there.
and they are, yeah.
Well, I met a guy, we met a
Yeah,
taxi guy, and Kofi is taking
yeah,
us to
I
Buka.
lied to you. I'm like, wait, they are now giving me referrals. Yeah,
Shame. Wow.
so I'm
Really?
getting like drivers. I'm like, okay, well, this is a good, I'll use it. I can,
Nice.
it's so funny. So I think that's the first misconception I would say for when I have clients coming over. They feel like they're not going to feel like at home or at ease.
Right,
But when they
right.
get here and it's, I don't know, it's just in the air.
I love that.
Yeah, it's in the air. So they'll be in an Uber and they'll go out.
Look at
after,
that. It's funny actually because when I got married, I had a lot of friends from English people,
Mhm.
Jamaicans, Nigerians. Yeah, they all
Mhm.
came to the wedding,
Mhm.
and
In
for
Ghana.
most of we
Mhm.
got married here in Ghana at Legon,
Mhm.
and for most of them it was the first time to the continent, not
Mhm.
even to Ghana,
Mhm.
and so I was just like, ooh, like, pressure, and I'd only been here 5 minutes. So it's not like, yeah, you should go here, you should go there, and all
Right.
that kind of thing. I was able to like maneuver a little bit,
Right.
but I was just like, okay, and I know, some of them like their creature comforts as well.
Yep.
And I thought, okay, well, look, clearly they're here because they love me.
Yeah.
So, and they've spent some coins to get
Yep.
on a plane,
Correct.
to come to the continent.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, well, at least I know that they check for me, but I still need to try and make this a soft
Right,
landing
yeah.
as possible, right? So, we're finding places for them and,
Mhm.
it was all good. Literally, second day,
Mhm.
they were like sitting on the, what do you call them? Like, 4x4 trucks or
Oh, the
whatever.
quad biking age.
Yes, I mean, like, you get those Ford Rangers.
Oh, okay, yes,
and
yes,
then you've
yes.
got that bucket bit. You got the bit that you can just sit.
Yep.
All of them were sitting on that in the middle of like Oxford Street and Osu, like,
Oh.
like half of them were wasted, but they were just like, yes, we love Accra, and I'm just like, wow,
Wow.
like
Yep.
they've just assimilated. Couple of them were like in shops buying, Afrobeat tracks and, buying
Yep.
the shirts, and like
Yep.
they went to a tailor, like, Fiona, there's a really good tailor just off Oxford Street. I'll line you up. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I completely get it. I completely get it.
It's exactly like that. Exactly like that.
So when you often speak about the importance of family, because, you spoke about your first son being here with you when you were setting up. But then I know a lot of your family members, they're here, but then I know there's quite a bit in the US as well. How have your family values guided the way that you traverse between the US and Ghana?
I think responsibility is probably the undercurrent. Um, you know, both of my parents are very hard workers. They immigrated to the U.S. in the 70s, and they worked really hard for my brother and I to at least have a
Yeah,
good launching pad.
absolutely.
And so having that sense of responsibility that my parents did a lot, for us
Yeah,
to kind
the
of
sacrifices that
exactly.
you probably have no idea about even up until this day, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to have that foundation. So just that responsibility is always an undercurrent of working hard and doing the best that you can. Um, but then a sense of respect. Um, I make it a point to visit kind of certain, like aunties that, just like the elders
Absolutely.
in
Yeah.
the of each side of the family.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I would say just the sense of responsibility is really key. And I hopefully um that's being passed on to my two boys now,
Mhm.
to my two boys. But then I think I don't even know if there's a word for it, but there's a sense of, okay, maybe sankofa, like
Yes,
always
yes,
returning,
yes.
like going back to
Back
where
here
you came from, because
in order to see the
exactly,
future.
exactly. So
Hmm.
like I tell my boys, Sunday we are always at Achimota. That's where we go for our
Right,
Sunday fufu.
right.
We are always there to visit our
Good.
aunties, and
Fufu
yeah,
is very
yeah,
necessary
it
on a
is very,
Sunday. Very necessary.
especially in a con household. It's very.
Yes, I can eat it every day, all day. I even had some yesterday. Yes,
But
yes,
yeah, there's a sense of, okay, this is what this is what we do.
yeah,
Yeah, unless there's like a really good reason for us not to. But this is what, when we're here, this
yeah,
is what we do.
right. And so, you mentioning your boys, how have they been able to navigate between the US and Ghana? Is it something that's effortless now, or is it still like a bit of a chore? Like, this summer I want to stay with Brad.
I know. Brad.
Sorry.
No, that's only because we just watched a Brad Pitt F1 movie
Oh,
like last
really?
week.
Oh, I need to watch that movie.
It was good.
Who is it? Idris. What's that? The
Yeah,
brother.
the young, I don't, yeah, I didn't even know who he was. That movie
Mm,
was, I went in not expecting to like it. I
really? I
loved
heard it
it. It
was
was really
amazing.
good. It
Good,
was
good,
really
good.
good.
I'll watch
Really
that.
good.
So, Brad, Damson
Okay,
Idris.
okay, because he's British.
Yes, British
Yes.
Nigerian.
Okay,
Yes,
okay,
and
got it.
good actor and
Yeah, he's really good. He's really
beautiful.
good.
Damson, if you want to come talk about acting, the diaspora, London,
Right, there you
got
go.
you.
This is
Yes,
this is your girl.
yes, absolutely. But yeah, so Brad,
Yeah.
the boys.
Yeah, right. So I think my oldest is 16. He has not yet said, I don't want to come to Ghana for the summers.
Good.
I am, because I remember myself at 16. I was not
Mm,
trying to be, I was
yes,
trying to
you're
do,
a bit
yeah, right.
like Akosua.
Right.
Yes.
So he has yet I think they know this is almost like they have a sense of responsibility. They know this is what we do.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And so I would say, I mean, Ghana, they're when they come, they're in either camps or they have like a football training.
Yeah. Yeah.
My oldest now is doing classes to prep for the SAT.
Right.
And I think now, because he's older, he's able to, mingle and, make friends
Right.
in a way,
Here.
here
Mhm.
that, maybe he couldn't earlier because, he was younger. So now he
Great.
has
Great.
independence or freedom of movement.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I hear him speaking with his little friends and
Nice.
trying to schedule
Nice.
pickup games or hang out at the mall,
Nice.
which makes my heart happy that
Yes.
he's creating his own little network here.
It's so important.
I think, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
so
think so.
important. Oh,
I
that's
think so.
great. Because I can imagine. I remember me at 16, I was a bit like, ugh.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're doing an amazing job. That's the kudos. When you bring in the young people or the elders from the African American communities,
Yeah.
how are you able to tick boxes with regards to, okay, the younger generation may like this,
Yeah.
or the
Yeah.
middle age, or how are
Yeah.
you able to traverse?
Yeah. So it's always getting a good sense of kind of their expectations. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, we do see kind of like a range when it comes to ages. Most of our clients skew a little bit older. I would say
Mhm.
probably 50s and 60s
Right.
and upwards.
Right.
But for instance, we had a recent tour, we had mixed. So we had some 20, teenagers, 20-year-olds with, their parents. And so making sure that we're including like the quad ATV biking in a brief
Nice.
and the going out to, I don't want to say a club, but going out to like a nightlife experience that as a teenager or 20-year-old, you don't mind being
Yeah.
out with your mom.
Yes, yes.
So making sure we're kind of doing, something
Just
like
touching on those.
Exactly.
But the nightlife in Accra is unbelievable.
It is.
I mean, I'm grown, and I don't get to go there as often as I would like. But Instagram,
Yeah,
oh my
I know.
gosh, it's frightening.
It is. I can't.
I mean,
can't keep up.
frightening in a good way,
Yeah,
because clearly, it's also helping the local economy. You're meeting people from all over the world, and every single person that I see, just beautiful people.
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm just like, you're gorgeous. Do you know what I mean? They are, and I'm just like, wow, I'm really excited to see like young people really enjoying Accra.
Yeah.
You know?
It really is nice to see. It is
Yeah.
really nice to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice to
Oh,
see.
amazing. So what does legacy mean to you? Not just financially, but culturally and emotionally.
For me, especially as as it relates to maybe my kids, always wanted them to have a sense of home.
Mm.
So no matter where they live, I always want them to know Ghana's home, which is why I take the efforts to bring them every summer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want them to feel comfortable here. I want them to have like their own little network here.
So important.
Even though they didn't go to high school, they're not going to boarding school here. But yeah, a sense of home. Like if anything, like you have another option.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a sense of self. Legacy, also their identity. My boys are, dark complexioned. And so another sense of legacy is just their strength and their sense of self.
Yeah, it's really important. I think also because they're in the US or outside of the continent, and it's easy for people to see them as the other since they're a minority.
Correct.
So if you're not strong enough to withstand whether it's comments or the microaggressions and all that, it can be quite I can never pronounce this word. How do you say
debilitating?
That word.
Yeah.
We will cut that out. That word. I can never say it, but it can be, right?
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, completely. Because I've even heard stories of, young people leaving here, going to the US, and they've been shaken to the core.
Yeah.
Because they haven't really been immersed in the culture.
Yeah.
So that they can then, stand forth and actually speak about who they are as people, or even if they don't speak about who they are, as long as they know, then they won't get into your head, right?
Yep.
And
Correct.
so that's something that that is priceless, is invaluable. Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
I used, if use is even the proper word, but I remember coming to Ghana every year, like when I was in my 20s.
Amazing.
Work, but I'd come here before it was called Dirty December. I would come.
It's still called Dirty December,
but it wasn't. It wasn't called that back in my days.
Yes, true,
it was
true.
just
It was just
yeah.
Absolutely.
But I would use that because back then I was working in corporate America in finance, and
Right.
so it's like you're dealing with certain microaggressions or whatever you're dealing all day, or all day, all year.
Yeah.
And December was my time to be like, oh my gosh, let me get that shot to like be able to.
I like how you've termed that. Those the vaccinations, those shots. It's just like yes.
Yeah,
just really need to. It's so important. Yeah, because you do forget. Okay, so has there been any moments where you've had to choose between what's easy and what's what is rooted in your values, and how were you able to navigate that? So sometimes it's easy just to like, I'm using a silly example, just like throw in some pasta because it's easy and quick. Do you know what I mean? But it's just like, but I could really do with some fufu. And because of that, you have to be pounding, do you know what I mean? Or making a soup that takes half of the day, because me, I'm just like, in the UK, I'm like, gosh, I don't have time to like to do a soup. That's going to take me like 3 hours. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just like, no, we're not going to do that. We're just going to go to Mackie D's or something, Has there been anything like that in your life?
Yeah. I think even making this annual pilgrimage, it's not cheap. Getting tickets during the summertime
Completely.
for
The three of you.
the three of us.
Yeah.
And then making sure that they are in camps, that they're not just sitting at home like
True.
on the internet or on the
True.
whatever their phones or whatever. And being intentional when we are here. I remember, coming to Ghana as a young child. My mom was living her life. I would just be at grandma's house all day. And while I had cousins and it was fun, sometimes it was a little boring.
Yes.
And so making sure that they find, we're doing things,
Yes.
not overdoing it, but, at least on a weekend, we're trying to, we're doing something.
Yep. Yep.
Even if
Something
it's just
different.
something different. If it's a movie theater, maybe we'll go,
Yeah.
maybe to a breeze, somewhere like a day trip or something like
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
And so I would say, to answer your question, easy would be staying, in the US and maybe sending them to my grandparents and or
Yes.
excuse me, to my parents,
Yes.
their grandparents
And then
in
you
Maryland,
just chilling for
and me chilling.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas, it is, but I guess because of this value of their sense of self and home and responsibility, it is being intentional about bringing them back home, at least at minimum for the summers.
Good.
And then we have to go visit this auntie. We need to go visit this uncle. It's just, I don't say proper, but it's the thing you do.
Yeah,
You've
yeah.
come to
Like
town.
this is what we do.
This is what we do.
Yeah, and I think that's that's quite unique to our culture because we do revere our elders and making sure that you're paying homage.
Yeah.
Because they may not see them as often as their other grandkids,
Exactly.
right, or cousins and nephews. So
Yep.
I completely well done, Akosua. You've done well. You've done well. You've done well. You've done well. How do you feel that? How can diasporians engage with Ghana in a way that's reciprocal? So when you're bringing your clients or your customers here, they're getting something from their visit.
Yep.
What do you think that Ghanaians are able to learn from their experiences? Are you able to share
So
that?
what are Ghanaians here on the continent able to learn from?
Yes, please.
So what we try not to just be like a regular old tour company.
Yes, please expand.
Yeah. So giving them whether it's a cooking class or having getting their, having seamstresses come and make some outfits for them, or having braiders come to their hotel room. It really is about hopefully breaking almost that barrier and just meeting people, having conversations with
as they are.
Yeah. Another thing that we try to do, what we're doing more of, is when we're doing like our group dinners, what we did with the group a few weeks ago was inviting some of our guides, not the guides that are with the group all the time,
Right.
but like when we're in Cape Coast, we have certain people that we utilize who I just think their knowledge of history is amazing, and how they deliver. And so when we're having like our group dinner, maybe at a restaurant or at a hotel, we'll invite the guide and his family and their kids.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so it's really becomes it really is cross-cultural. I mean, I hate to use like these stereotypical terms, but it really is cross-cultural. So the kids are there and they're talking, and we had with this group that I'm thinking about, which was a few weeks ago, there was a woman who's a kindergarten teacher, but she's retired now. And so this gentleman, his kids are, I'd say elementary school age. And so she was talking to them, and then she was, I guess, showing them, I don't know, like how, like something about like, not reading, but almost like colors or something on like
so
her
the
phone.
material that could help his kids.
Exactly. And so I saw them there with their conversation, and then his wife is at the end of the table talking to someone else about something. And it really, so I think and you're right, it's, hopefully tourism, yes, you're paying for an experience, but we always want it to go deeper than that.
Absolutely.
And we also want the community that you're visiting to also, yes, finances are important.
Yes.
So really important for me to patronize like local businesses. And so whether it's the seamstresses or it is the women doing your hair, or the tailors, the restaurants. But also, going deeper than that, because that still is very kind of superficial. It's just, that can just be like an exchange of money, but going a little bit deeper and having, these conversations where they're asking them questions about, their kids or their grandkids, like my clients' grandkids or kids. And so seeing that cross-cultural connection
Yeah.
is, I mean, it always warms. It's always really nice.
It
is always
is.
really
It
nice.
is. And I can imagine the stories that they'll share when they go back home.
Yeah.
You know, on both sides
On
as well.
both sides.
You know.
And the gentleman that I was talking about in Cape Coast, he sent me a text the other day. He's like, and sending me the videos of his kids with, you know, my clients. He's like, oh my God, this was such a great evening.
Amazing.
And so you could tell, like, it really, I'm sure they talk about it at home every once in a while.
Warms the cockles of my heart. It does. I just love stuff like that.
It
It
is.
just it's more than you,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's more
re-
than the service that you're providing. You
it
know,
really
so
is. It really is.
that I'm sure, you know, is what, you know, just keeps you doing the work that you're doing, and even to push and you know, find other amazing experiences
Yeah.
for both parties, right?
It really does. I always say it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't feel like work. I mean, there are times that it is work. Like you,
I'm sure like they stress you out.
Yeah.
Those diasporians.
But when you, like, when I'm with them and like a light bulb goes off, or they've had this question answered, or maybe they came with their guards up, or, you know,
I love that.
tears coming down there, you know, there's such a bond that happens. Like we, you know, maybe a client, you started off as a client relationship, but you really are, I mean, the stuff that we can talk about, you know, it's just like, wow, because you literally shared an experience together.
Yeah. I can even feel, I've got goosebumps. Yeah. So what is next for you with regards to the tours, you know, connecting with the diaspora? Are there dreams or visions that you still have?
I definitely want to expand and grow the countries that we're visiting. Being a part of this business has been amazing in that I have the opportunity, myself and my team, to visit countries that I don't know, like if I had maybe stayed in corporate America, that I ever would have.
Okay.
And so I definitely want to expand the countries that we, you know, that we tour.
Okay.
And so with ACC Tours, we're focused on tours of Sub-Saharan Africa exclusively. And so, you know, we're making headway, and we're, I think, officially in, it could be 5 or 6 or 7 countries.
Oh wow.
But want to expand the countries that we offer tours. So it's, you know, going out and making partners, and meeting people and networking, and visiting.
And making sure that everybody's legit, especially since you're not native to that country. I mean, with Ghana, sure, you can give them some knocks here and there.
Exactly.
And like, look, you need to sit up, otherwise I've got like 10 other vendors that we can work with, right?
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Making sure that people are legit, because it's, you know, you're dealing with.
So you said that you were in Tanzania, Senegal, Gambia, Ghana.
Yep. Liberia a couple times,
Okay.
which was very interesting.
Wow. Okay. Another podcast?
Yeah. I love Liberia.
Wow.
I actually really do. They're really
Interesting.
such very nice. Like
Oh.
yeah, very, very
Nice.
And
Okay, I've
I
never
love
been.
their food. Yeah, I love their food too. Cote d'Ivoire, we're
Nice.
looking to, and we're looking into Namibia as
Oh.
well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but actually I've been hearing good things about Namibia.
Yeah.
But I don't know anybody who's been.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a client. She does she runs a travel company or travel group that focuses on Black women over the ages of 50. She's based out of the US, and so she's the one who pushes me. She's like, Akosua, let's go here next.
Wow.
So she gives me that. She passes the baton, and I, you know, figure it out with her.
Like
yeah. She pushes. She really pushes me, and so that's next on our list.
I love that. Congrats. So what message will you have, or do you have, for young Africans in the diaspora who are feeling unsure about where they belong?
You know, home is it's an interesting word, because hopefully you're making home wherever you are, right? Whether you are based in Philly or LA or New Orleans, finding people or connections that feel safe,
Yes.
but that are also pushing you in good ways.
Yes.
So pushing you for excellence. And so that could mean joining your local Asantiman association, right? Or your the Crew Association or the
Mhm.
you know, whatever it is.
Mhm.
So making sure that you're finding community where you are, and it means, going out of, getting out of your shell
Yeah,
and
yeah.
seeking out those resources.
Mhm.
I would also suggest, if possible, depending on where you are, is wherever home was or is for
Mhm.
you. So whether you're Ghanaian or Togolese, trying to hopefully every once in a while visit home, keep
Yeah.
those connections with family and
Yeah,
friends.
I think that's really important because sometimes people leave it too
Too long
long,
of a gap.
you know,
Yeah.
and the continent is changing so
Rapidly,
rapidly that
rapidly.
really, once you were like the local champion, the village champion, now
Now,
it's like
I tell
they're in
I
positions of power. People are doing so many different things,
yeah,
and
it is, if possible, it's important. It's important to, yeah, because I remember when we left last summer, um and I came back, I guess I was in April, and seeing the East Lake, I didn't know where the taxi driver was taking me.
oh
The
wow,
East Lake, the overpass
oh
from East
yes,
Lake
the
gone
new
to, yes, I
yes,
was like, oh my gosh, because
yeah.
when I left, I don't even think there was not even that.
Yeah,
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 things
they've
are
done well.
they,
That's
oh
really,
my
and it's so
gosh.
helpful, right? From East Legon to
It's
Spintex,
Spintex, correct? Yes,
it's beautiful.
it is
Yeah, they've done a
beautiful.
good job.
And so, yeah, I mean, trying to keep connection with your, your roots, your family, your friends, your network.
Yeah,
So building your network wherever you are. So whether, even if you're coming here to Ghana, and I don't know, maybe the university that you attended,
yeah,
maybe they may have an alumni chapter here.
very
I've noticed
good.
a lot of my clients, they look for alumni, I guess alumni who live here in Ghana, and they're making connections, and they're
Great,
going out to dinners when they're here.
great.
So I think we, maybe as diasporans, we need to also,
Try and look into
yeah,
plugging into
plugging
those.
into our networks and
Lovely,
expand us more.
lovely. Final question.
Yeah.
Final question, and then you can relax. Is I want you to complete this sentence.
Okay.
I am most proud of who I've become because.
I am most proud of who I have become. I think I made my dad proud. I'm a daddy's girl, so I think, yeah.
Oh, that's loaded because it couldn't have been an easy
Journey
journey.
for him,
But
yeah.
then now that his children and his daddy's girl has knocked it out of the park, and you're curating experiences for
Yeah.
many, many, many people, and of course your sons are coming back on the regular.
Yeah.
I'd be proud of you.
Oh.
I'd be so I can yeah. That's lovely, and I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
I'm sure he is.
We're not a verbal family, but
Mhm.
I sense it. I think
Oh,
so.
Daddy, if you're watching, Daddy, she's done it. She's done it, and she loves you. Clearly, you can see even her eyes are welling up a little bit. So this is real. Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. Bless you. Well, thank you
Thank you
so
for
much
having me.
for
Thank you
coming,
so
for
much.
exchanging
Beautiful.
ideas,
Beautiful.
and sharing your personal story.
Thank you so much.
And yeah, you are welcome anytime. You're
Thank you
welcome
so
anytime,
much.
and
This
thank you
has
so
been so
much.
much fun. I appreciate it. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Akosua.
Thank you.
Thank you.